Hi everyone, this is Leni and you're watching part 2 of the speed build of the old mill house. And right now we're starting with the inside of the windmill, and as you can see it has different levels. On every level there's something that has to do with the technique of the windmill. As you may remember, I thought that this windmill is still functional but not used in an industrial way, so it's just like a museum, but I wanted to make it look like it could work. Of course it does not work in The Sims, but maybe someday we'll have a mill, who knows, as part of the cottage living maybe, but not right now. And here I'm placing the millstone. I built it with some different objects. This is a fontaine kind of thing, and the one on the top is some type of sculpture that I made bigger. So now it looks like a millstone, maybe a little bit, and this thing on the side is where the flower comes out. Later I will notice that this is quite unpractical because this is where the floor comes out. The entrance to the storage area is one level higher, so on the second floor actually. But I didn't think about that when I built it, because it made more sense that the floor comes out where the millstone is. But later I did a little trick. I didn't record everything of it because I needed some time to figure out what to do, but you can see it later. I just made like a little pipeline to the upper floor, so you can make some floor here, like maybe for quality check, just a little bit to come out here on this level, on this bottom floor, and the bigger amount of floor comes out on the second floor. Floor and floor, is it pronounced the same? I don't know, I'm not an English speaker, but I hope you know the difference. I thought maybe the third floor was used from the guy who lives here and who grew up here. He is now an adult, but when he was a kid he maybe played on the third floor, on the highest floor of the mill, like a little clubhouse where he and his friends, where the adults are not allowed. And they have a little chess table here, something to sit and something to paint. And yeah, now we're on the floor plan of the main house where the family lives. As you may remember, I imagined a guy who lives here, who grew up here, like I said. He's now grown up, and also his grandfather still lives here, so he will get a room. And there's another girl who lives here, also grown up, which is something like his adoptive sister or best friend, and she's a mermaid who her parents found in the little creek outside of the mill when she was a little girl, and adopted her, and now she lives here and she will get her own room too. this is the front patio, where I imagined that the grandfather has a little woodworking station, where he also sells some sculptures, because they have visitors sometimes who want to look at the mill and want to know how it worked, maybe want to produce a little bit of floor on their own, so they can also buy some of the sculptures the grandfather makes. So I'm placing some of them here, just like he just finished some of them, and the people can look at them and buy some. I imagined that would be quite cute, so the grandfather has a hobby that, yeah, he wants to make a little bit of money with. So here I'm placing some clutter. I imagine that he's also painting the sculptures, so he has a lot of colors and paint. And now we're heading to the kitchen. The kitchen is held in yellow colors and white and some brown tones, because the windows have these dark brown wood color, and I always have the need to match the wood colors in the rooms. This is why often my furniture has the same wood color as the windows are, because most of the time I don't think it looks good if you have too many different wood colors. They're having a little breakfast area, I think you call it, here with the 2 bar stools, and I'm already cluttering it. As you may notice, I love clutter. Here I choose a backsplash for the kitchen. I found this little rug in front of the ovens, and I thought it looked very nice here, so I wanted to make the backsplash match, and also the other colors. So here's the table. They don't have a really big dining area. This is the biggest table in the whole build, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't have the place to put a big dining table. You could place one maybe in the living room if you want to refurnish this building. This could work actually, but I didn't include it in my build. Just decorating a bit. This is actually a Christmas decoration, but I don't think that matters, because it looks nice. I love this little wood piece. I use these curtains often. This is, I think, from the Island Living pack actually, and I used a lot of the Island Living stuff and the Jungle Adventure stuff, which you might not guess because it's a cottage farmhouse actually, but the furniture matched the vibe really good, I think. First I wanted these cat sculptures to look outside, and then I realized, oh, there's a flower pot right in front of their face, so this doesn't make sense. So I deleted one of the sculptures and just placed one that is facing the kitchen instead. this will be the office, because it's still a little business. The mill is a business, not in producing flour as much as in having visitors that pay entrance for this. So they of course have to do some paperwork, and I imagine they're not really into this. They're not experts in all the taxes stuff, but they do what they can. And this is what I wanted to make this office look like. So they have a really old computer, they have lots of papers flying around, and they're not really organized. Because this is not their main business, it's just something they do for the neighborhood, let's say it this way. And I also placed some floor sacks here and there, just maybe they did a quality check or whatever. And also a little sitting area if they have to read their letters or they mail, and a bit of clutter. And also on the walls I placed some posters from the Hanford and Beckley competitions they can do on the markets at the weekends. And maybe they won some of them with their chicken or with their produce or something. This is the bathroom of the first floor. It is really blue. Nothing really special, but I don't want to cut out the bathrooms every time because, I don't know, I like building bathrooms, as I said in some video before. I had to remove some of the objects though later when I playtested it, because they couldn't use the sink, and that was because of this cleaning stuff I placed below it. So I had to delete that. This is the entrance hall, the area right behind the front door. It also turned out pretty cute. I like this very much about this house. Just a really nice entrance area. Also cluttered. Everything in my builds is always cluttered, as you might noticed, but that's just my type of building, I guess. I know a lot of builders have a more cleaner way to build and to furnish, but if you ever took a look at my own apartment, then you will know where this comes from. And I also love this window curtain thingy from the Blooming Rooms kit. I placed it somewhere else in the house, I think in the bedroom of the mermaid. And I had the problem, and I have this all the time, or not all the time, but I often have this problem that in the end, when I did the floor plan, I noticed that the hallways are so big. Like, I figured out all the rooms and I'm happy with the size of the rooms, but then I noticed I have so many space in the hallways and I always don't know what to put there. So you will have a lot of silly decorations or sitting areas that maybe I don't know who uses it. And this is the living room where the household comes together. It's an open room, but it's cozy anyway. We have the sectional sofas from, I don't know the English name of the pack. Dream home decorator, that's what I wanted to say. And I think it really fits in here. Also, I love the wallpaper. And this will be the bedroom for the grandfather, so it will look a little bit old-fashioned. You can of course just make it a kid's room if you want to play here with kids or whatever. Use it as you like, but in my gameplay here lives the grandfather. And I used the tool mod to make this shelf thingy above the bed and the wardrobe, so he can place some of his favorite sculptures. And he has a fish hanging on the wall because his grandson, the one who also lives here, is a fisherman, if you remember. He has the fishing trade. So maybe this was like a birthday present for his grandfather, or I don't know. I don't know if I would give someone that fish, but some people may like it as a decoration. I think it fits in here. As you remember, he is doing woodworking, and so I placed some pieces of wood in his room also because I thought it makes sense. Maybe when it's cold outside he wants to do the woodworking inside of the house and not on the front patio. So I placed some pieces of wood next to his armchair and some tulle. Now I'm working a little bit on the front patio, just decorating it with flowers and plants. It was the same problem. I had so much space here and didn't really know what to do with it. In the beginning I thought maybe they have several tables and chairs here, so the visitors that visit the mill could also like have a coffee or something, but then I thought, yeah, this would just look like I wanted to fill the space, so I stayed with some plants. Maybe the mermaid girl is into gardening and she's trying out the flower workbench. And this is the upper bathroom that is connected to the bedroom of the girl. Or let's say the main bedroom, because it's the only bedroom with a double bed. So this bathroom is only for the one who sleeps in the master bedroom. And I used a lot of jungle adventure stuff here because, as I said, it just matches the vibe I was going for. First I thought maybe the grandfather did a lot of the furniture on himself, so this is why I placed this strange bathtub in the beginning, but then I thought it just doesn't look that good, so I replaced it. This bathroom is also quite bluish green, but I really liked the curtains and that was what gave the color. This thing there, I had to delete it later because I couldn't use the bathtub, but yeah, it's just decoration, so... And this is the master bedroom I was talking about. They have this built-in closet, which I think came with Discover University or Get Together. And I used the same mirror as in the hallway downstairs because I thought that could be something that the grandfather would worked. I later changed the color here, but I am keeping the mirror. I was thinking that this mermaid girl maybe came from Sulani or something and didn't find her way back home, or she had to leave or something. This is why she ended up in Hanford-on-Beckley in a little creek. But she very much has this Sulani vibe, and that's why I used a lot of warm, sunny colors like this orange and red. She has a yoga mat and this little painting of a sunset in front of it. I thought it looked very, very, island-like, very Sulani-like. So this is why this room is a little bit special and a little bit different from the other rooms. Maybe you like it, maybe you decorate it in a whole different way. That's up to you. This is the upstairs hallway, which also was very big and had very empty space, and yeah, another sitting area, as you may guess. Also a bookshelf, so maybe this is the place where they read. And you may remember this little side thingy, which I thought was the place for the doves in the original building. And as I said, I turned it into a toilet, so that's what it is now. And this is the room for the guy who lives here. He has a bunk bed, so maybe he is very young, very young adult, and still lives kind of in his children's room. And as always, you can just turn this room in whatever you want. This is just my gameplay imagination. And this is the upper patio. As you can see, it's behind the room of the guy, and it just has a little barbecue place, and here I will place a bar, maybe a wine bar, because they're in Hanford and Beckley, and I imagine there will be a vineyard nearby. I also will build a vineyard. This will be my next build. That's what my Twitter followers decided. And this is the other patio on the highest level, which also has a lot of sitting spaces and yeah, this huge whirlpool. And first I wanted this room to be like a sunroom, or where the gardening stuff is happening, where they are putting together flowers or something and have a lot of greenery and a lot of plants. But I don't know, I came up with the whirlpool and like having it a little overgrown, like a little garden house that is used different now. And I placed these indirect lights to make the fairy lights look more shiny. And speaking of fairy lights, I'm stuffing this whole place with fairy light because it just looks so cute. And this is some attic space, and I imagine they use it as a party location with this table tennis music and a lot of posters. I thought maybe when the girl and the guy were younger, like teenagers, the parents allowed them to use the attic as a party location, so it looks very youthful and has this flower fairy lights and a lot of posters. And this will be just some really cluttered attic room. And there's also another bed, so someone can sleep here if they stayed for the night when they partied. That's it for this building for the mill house. You can download it from the gallery. The ID is dionymoth. It is play tested, so everything should work. If you notice that something doesn't work, something that Sims can't reach or use, just write me a comment on the video or in the gallery or whatever. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you want to do that. Thank you for downloading it from the gallery. I really have fun doing this, and I hope we'll see each other on the next video, which will be the vineyard. Bye everyone.